Hey, you're Jesse Lagos, and today we're going to go over a market report. The intention is to let you know what's been happening in the market, what's currently happening in the market, and what's going to happen in the future, so that you have the information you need to make a quick decision when a great opportunity arises, and to do so confidently and in trusting that decision. So let's jump into it. Our multiple listing service, which is basically our service that has all our houses and all the numbers, the median sales price in December of 2017 was $296. A year later, $325 for an increase of 9.8%. And so now we know that overall, houses or our general market, whether if it's from Livingston all the way to Butte, people are gaining equity. And so now we want to break down these areas and figure out where do we invest in. We want to make sure that we are skiing ahead of the puck and not just following behind it, because I want to make you the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time. And so let's go ahead and look at Bozeman real quick. In December of 2017, the median sales home sold for about $330,000. 1 year later, it jumped up to $376 for an increase of 14.7%. And now these are homes that are single residential homes, townhomes, and condos, also manufactured homes on a foundation. And so it went up 14%. A lot of people have said, wow, Bozeman went up astronomically, fairly quickly, don't invest there anymore. Looking at these numbers, it's saying otherwise. And I believe, other than Livingston, Bozeman has had the largest increase of value. Now let's break it down even further. So we know Bozeman is still a great place to invest in. However, let's look at previously owned homes versus new construction. In December of 2017, the average previously owned home sold for $329. 1 year later, it sold for $363 for an increase of 10.5%. Great return so far. For new construction homes in the Bozeman city limits, the median sales price was $337 in 2017 and jumped up to $395 1 year later for an increase of 17.2%. And so this asks you to think about, what does it look like to buy a home, put money into it, try to flip it, and make a profit, as opposed to just buying a new construction home that you can rent out from the get-go and get a solid price. According to this, if you would have bought a previously owned home in Bozeman last year, you wouldn't have made as much as you would have if you bought a new construction house. Sometimes it seems somewhat counterproductive, although these numbers are statistics that don't lie. And so don't be afraid to invest in new construction, particularly in the Bozeman area. In Bozeman, we have the Billings Clinic that's going to open by Costco, a 200-unit apartment complex that has been projected to be built within the next few years behind Lowe's, and plenty of jobs and new commercial towards the marketplace. And so Bozeman is definitely growing, and it's likely to be the commercial capita in our surrounding area. Great place to invest in. There's going to be a new flood of doctors coming in and businessmen. And so yes, we want to still invest in Bozeman and possibly look at new construction over just buying something that is previously owned. These numbers would indicate that, at least in Bozeman. Not saying that a previously owned home in Bozeman is a bad investment. It just depends on the numbers, and we'll work those out together. Alrighty, let's move to Belgrade. December of 2017, the median sales price was $270, and a year later it jumped up to $295 for an increase of 9.2%. Previously owned homes were going for $263 in 2017, jumped up to $287 for an increase of 9%, and new construction only had an increase of about 5.8%. And so Belgrade is an area where these stats are encouraging us to buy a previously owned home and fix that up, because those are just raising in price. Those are raising in price astronomically, as opposed to construction, new construction. Those have been sitting on the market a lot longer, and they're not necessarily growing in equity as much as those older Henson subdivisions are in River Rock. All right, let's look at Three Forks, which very interesting numbers here. So in December of 2017, the median sales price was $245, and a year later, $239 for a decrease of 4.5%. And now this is really curious, and I'll let you know why in just a couple of moments. So previously owned homes in 2017, $255, and that jumped down to $240 for a decrease of 6%. Whew. New construction homes, 225, and a year later, 224,900 for 0% really movement. And so Three Forks has somewhat lost its value, and which is really curious. So what's going on in Three Forks right now? They just added 8 commercial lots by Wheat Montana Bread Factory. Once those are built out, which I imagine would take about 5 to 8 years, all those home prices are gonna start to skyrocket. So Three Forks is taking a back seat to Bozeman and Belgrade's current growth. However, when those seem to hit their limit, it's gonna be going towards Three Forks. Three Forks also is gonna have an event center built right by Teasers, I believe, and it's not Teasers, believe it or not. They're gonna have an event center, and so all that's gonna grow and populate. And so if your investment is more for the long run, Three Forks is where you want to be looking at, primarily because prices have gone down, and so now you can undercut some of the homes, particularly if you're a cash investor, and hold on to it for 10 to 15 years and see that equity go through the roof. I think Three Forks is going to be a fantastic investment. Let me jump back to Belgrade and let you know what's going on there. They have their own liquor license now, so more money is going to be funneled to Belgrade. We know about the airport mall, and once that's built, there's going to be so many jobs. There's 2 major hotel chains that have contracted and have under contract the plot holes in that area. So that alone is going to bring a lot of business. And so I believe Belgrade's going to be great for Airbnbs in the future. Let's jump to Livingston. Livingston, overall median sales price, $223 in 2017, jumped up to $259 for an increase of 15%. So if you bought this past year in Livingston, congratulations. If you haven't, I believe there's still room to jump on that train before it gets too high. So previously owned homes jumped up about 20%. In 2017, it was $215 median sales price to $259. It's time to move quickly on a Livingston Homes. There was one that just hit the market this past week, a 1-bedroom for $168. And so my intention is to get homes that are at least 2-bedroom at that same price point. When that hits the market, it's time to move. New construction homes in Livingston, however, 277 in the year 2017 to 272 for a decrease in 1.7. Statistically speaking, right now you'd want to invest in single-family homes that have been previously owned in Livingston. However, there are 600 new doors that are going to occur, and I've always preached this and I will continue to, is that when a subdivision is just starting, you always purchase to build the most amount of equity in the shortest amount of time. So Meadowlark Ranch subdivision just behind the airport, the tri-level floor plan going for about $264 2 years ago. He just put out a new batch of homes. There's the train. I'll take this opportunity to have a sip of coffee. They're not honking as much this time. Alrighty, so Livingston, yes, Meadowlark Ranch. So those same homes that were going for $264 2 years ago, he just released for $317, 2 years, and that is a huge jump. So I would advise you to possibly move forward on purchasing some of the new construction in Livingston, because once they start to build out, they're just going to continually increase in value. And if you buy the first few ones, you're sitting at the best position for resale value. Okay, so that's what's been going on in the market. We have approximately 100 less homes of less inventory in the month of December than we did in 2017, and approximately just shy of 1,000 less homes in our market. However, more homes have sold, meaning there's not as much inventory, yet things are still going off the shelf. And so when I send you a property, it is going to be go time to move. We know the numbers, we know what areas are good to invest in right now. And with what's been happening in terms of commercial and how communities are growing, we know which way to move forward depending on what your goals are. Thanks again for your business. I appreciate you. This is Jesse Lagos.